Kurt9000's Game Room.
Okay, so it's Kurt9000 again. It's been quite a while since I've done a video game based video. There's a good reason for that. I was in hospital, I had a problem with my pancreas, and then I had to have my gallbladder removed. I've recently been looking at games basically as a way of passing my time, but I've not felt up to reviewing them. But recently I brought a bootleg Mega Drive cartridge, and it's a 25-in-1 cart, and there's all sorts on it. For me, one of the weird things is that I actually brought this cartridge off of Amazon. It's on there under the name YOUTHINK Super Games 16-bit game cartridge for Sega Gamepad gaming accessories TH25001. At the time I brought it, it was on offer for £2.50, but it's currently £6.29. I thought it'd be kind of interesting to look at this because other people might notice this on Amazon and wonder what the crack is. Will it ever turn up? Does it work? What the heck is it doing on there with the, shall we say, grey nature of it? The cart's got True Lies, Gunstar Heroes, Crude Busters, Contra Hard Corps, Shinobi 2, Splatterhouse 2, Thunder Force 3, Steel Empire, Quackshot. But there was actually a few games that I hadn't played before on it. One of them was a shoot 'em up called Vapor Trail, which I found out through a bit of research never came out in Europe. It was only out in Japan and America. And there was another game which, forgive me if I'm totally messing up the pronunciation of this, YOUTHINK. Basically, upon reading up about this game, it's actually an unlicensed game, with the Western version being called Water Margin, A Tale of the Clouds and Wind. It's a beat-em-up made by Neverending Soft Team and published by Kintech, originally in 1996. It has sprites and sounds stolen from other games. And I have seen threads with the makers of this game complaining about people sharing the ROM or their property ending up on these sort of piracy cartridges, which I find quite strange and funny because when a large majority of the work in your game is stolen from other games with no permission, it's a little bit rich for you to start sort of having copyright problems and crying about people stealing. Still, I'm glad this is on the cart because I'd never heard of it, never seen it, and it plays quite well. You know, I'll give them props that although they've stolen stuff, it's a good game. But this made me think, where do bootlegs belong? Are they just a wrong piracy thing that we should all shun? Or are they actually a part of video game history? You see, I have these memories of friends going on holiday to Spain when I was young and coming back with Game Boy carts with 30 games on. Granted, most of the time there'd only be 15 games on, and then there'd be the same 15 games with different names, like you'd have Tetris and then you'd have another titled Tetratoids or something, and it would just be Tetris again. But, you know, they were a pretty cool thing to see back in the day, and I still think it's interesting to see these sort of piracy cartridges. I mean, after all, if I'm playing Gunstar Heroes on here, it isn't losing anybody any money really, because if I was to find a second-hand version and buy it, or order a cartridge from China that's a knockoff with it imprinted on a chip, or load it to an other drive, again, nobody would make any money. Also, the thing is, I own quite a few of these games anyway. But I just thought it's interesting to ask other people, where do these games, these multi-carts, where do they fit into the history of video games? I would argue that because they're connected to people's nostalgia and they are the way people found certain games, that they have a part in the history of the medium. Now, I'm not saying that I'm going to run out and do something crazy to my Xbox One and start getting pirate discs. I'm quite happy buying games. I like to spend money to know that I'm funding further releases. And I like most of my games to be genuine, but I'm always going to have a soft spot for having the odd multi-cart, piracy, homebrew sort of knick-knack laying around. But it'd be interesting to put this question out there and to ask other people to say how they feel in the comments. Do you own any bootlegs? Do you have any nostalgia towards the old Game Boy cartridges? You know, I just want to open the floor up and see what other people think. But anyway, if anybody sees one of these cartridges on Amazon and is considering trying one, they work fine, and yeah, it's an alright way to get a fair few games. Although, you know, with a bit more investment, you could have an EverDrive and put whatever you want on it, including ROM hacks, fan translations, homebrew. Or you could just buy some real games. So it's kind of up to you how you feel about them. But if you were watching this video to find out about this cartridge itself and if it works or ruins your system, it works fine. Okay, that's Kerr9000 signing off saying keep on gaming.